So, Peter, firstly, I want to say that it's an honor to have you back on the stage, and thank you for teaching us earlier on the Council of Nicaea, and just that reminder that the norm to norm isn't superior to the norming norm, as our Truman would say. But in so many ways, we want to honor the many decades of faithful ministry that you're committed to the church in Australia and Reformed tradition. Really, this moment marks a significant point because for decades you have labored and toiled the ground advancing confessional Reformed theology in Australia, even during times which have been difficult. Undoubtedly, you've done so with joy, you've done so with conviction, and you've done so with clarity. And in a time when the Australian church has really been in the crosswind of pragmatism, minimalism, and doctrinal drift, you have reminded us by your example, as well as your pen, that the old paths are good paths. Theology matters. Creeds and confessions are not relics of the dead church, but a living testimony of the church militant, because we have proclaimed truth in every generation. Brother, in your sermons, in your lectures, you have heft Christ at center. In your books, in your essays, you have made theology accessible and warm. In your service to the Presbyterian Church of Australia and to the wider Reformed tradition in Australia, you have modelled courage with humility. In fact, I will make a point here that you have been such a blessing to me personally, as well as to so many, simply because of your humility. Many of you may be aware that Peter Barnes is one of the most well-known academics in Australia amongst the global Reformed camp. And yet, speaking to Peter, you wouldn't know. But also your unwavering commitment to historic Reformed orthodoxy. Peter, your ministry has blessed more people than you ever had. And this conference, Canon and Creed, owes its very shape to your example. You have taught us the truth must be confessed, that Christ must be honored, and that the church must not be carrying the doctrine. And in recognition of your faithful labors, we are pleased to present you this. This is the Festschrift, which is a collection of written essays in dedication of your long labors and your faithfulness to the church. Individuals such as Joel Beakey, Carl Truman, as well as Jeffrey Thomas, E. Murray wrote the forward, John McLean, David Burke, and many others, including Todd Stanton in the audience, have contributed essays just recognizing it and being faithful for your ministry in Australia. So, brother, may this volume serve as a token of appreciation, but also a testimony to what God has done and we pray continues to do through you. With deep gratitude, respect, and affection, we present you this Festschrift in honor of a life served and spent in faithful service to Christ in the church.
Cool. I have 6 children. One of their delights is to go to reformers or to Truong and to say, hey, Dad, I found another one of your books in markdowns. I fear you're going to add to that. I did have the advantage of being born old and grumpy. It's made it a lot easier to continue the stand. What bad idea is this?
So, can I just ask, do you know about this book?
No.
Because we've been working this for 5 years, so I am so glad that
I did say no. Noel Weeks said something to me.
Who has a contribution in this?
Has he? And then he, functional deism, okay, yeah. And then I don't know what he's talking about. And then I think he realised he said something with that. But I always assumed, well, somebody sobered up and dropped that idea. Okay. I don't want to say, Grep, I mean, this is crazy. You know, this is crazy. When you get Galatians, Paul thanks God for the Galatians. I think that's what, yeah. Yeah, so never trust any man. You raise an objection. There's an objection down here. David.
Oh, I thought I'll make my objections later.
Well, thank you, but yeah. I know. Apart from that, look. What do we preach? Grace. Why do we preach grace? Because we can't preach anything else. Why can't we preach anything else? Because we are what we are. And the good news is grace is what it is. It's free. So, yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.